I come in with a driller. Even off the job, I come in with a driller and to San Angelo, and I walked in Frank's office and he said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I quit." "You can't quit. You get back out there on that rig." I said, "Frank, I've been out there 5 days without anything to eat, no relief, no clean clothes or nothing." I said, "I'm not gonna work for a man like that." "Well, I wish you wouldn't quit. I need you now." He said, "Would you go back out there on the rig and work a few more days?" I said, "No, I quit. Right now." I said, "You can pay me right now or you can pay me later, whatever. But I quit. I'm not working for you anymore." So I went back to Lane Brothers. I talked to Walter and he said, "Be here in the morning."
That's why you don't burn bridges.
Okay. So I went back to Lane Brothers Trucking and I worked there for a while, and then mother had married George Goulsby here in Waco. And I knew that was a mistake. And I told her, I said, don't marry George. Anyway.
Was this because your dad died?
Huh?
Was it because your dad died?
No, Dad wasn't dead. See, Mama and Dad separated again.
Again? Okay.
And he moved to Odessa. But anyway, I said, and first thing George wanted her to do is sell the place. And I said,
Take it out,
don't sell that place.
Take it out.
One of those?
Don't sell that place, because you'll be moving back in it. She said, "Oh no, Bob, he's going to build me a home and all this." I said, "No, he's not." Anyway, I came to Waco, and I didn't even hardly apply for a job. I just went to see Booker Construction, and he said, "Yeah, I need you." "What doing?" I said. He said, "Running a
Thank you.
cat and scraper, leveling ground."
I want some more water.
No, I'm fine. And anyway, he said, anyway, the Booker Construction told me, he said, I need a guy to run this scraper, this cat and scraper and level all this land. Out there on 19th Street, I leveled all that. With Booker Construction.
So you were looking for a job? You were just out there?
I went out there to see him. I wasn't really looking for a job because I was going back to San Angelo to Lane Brothers Trucking. But anyway, he told me, he said, "I need you here now." And I called out there to Walter and I said, "Walter, I'm going to work here in Waco." And he said, "Okay." And he didn't give me no back talk or nothing. He said, "If you want to come back, come on back." Anyway.
What year is this?
I moved 53.
53. So my mom was just a little one.
Yeah, her and Bob are still small. But anyway. Anyway, I moved to Waco, and I put my application in with Central Freight Line, and I didn't want to work for Booker too long because dusty, the work was dusty, and the equipment wasn't good, and I'd break down and have to work on it and all that stuff. So I came down and I walked into Curtis Hall's, a GMC dealership here in Waco, and I went in to see him and I said, "Mr. Hall, I'd like to go to work for you." And he said, "When you want to start?" And I said, "I can start most any time." He said, "We'll be here in the morning." I said, "Okay." So I moved my tools over that night and went to work the next morning, and I done really good there. I had a lot of customers, and so Central called me. And the reason I went to work for Central is because the benefits, insurance benefits, all that. And so I went to Mr. Hall and I told him, I said, "Mr. Hall, I put my application in with Central and I really need to go on and work for them." And I said, "But I'll give you 2 weeks notice." And he said, "No." He said, "I just need you to do one thing for me." I had built him a boathouse down there.
On the side?
Huh?
Like as a side job?
Yeah, side job. Anyway, he said, "I need you to move my boathouse to Whitney for me." And I said, "I'll do that. I can handle that." So anyway, I called Clyde back and told him, I said, I had to give Mr. Hall a little notice, and I said, would 3 days be all right? And he said, oh yeah, that's fine. Said, I expected you to give him 2 weeks notice. I said, I did, but he said, come on to work. And he said, okay, fine. So I moved Curtis's Hall's boathouse to Whitney, put it in the water and all that stuff. And anyway, then I went out to Central, and then Clyde told me, he said, you got to start to work at night. And I said, okay. I had to take a cut in pay because you're working by the hour.
Right.
And I was working by the job,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I was working the commission with GMC, and I went to work by the hour, which that cut my pay. But I figured, well,
You knew the benefits
with,
were worth
with
it.
the benefits
Mhm.
I'm getting and all that, it's going to be worth it. So I'll hang with it. So anyway, I worked there at night, and one day Ernest Opley was the unit overhaul foreman, and he come over to me and he said, "Would you like to go to work for me in unit overhaul?" And I said, "Man, I wish you would." And he said, "Well, let me see what I can do." So he went to talk to Mr. Callan. Mr. Callan said, "Sure, take him on over there." So I went to work for unit overhaul building engines,
Mhm.
and in daytime, a daytime job.
That's it.
So anyway, I worked there in unit overhaul until I worked there about a year, I guess, about a year. In 1954, latter part of '54, I quit Central and I put in my own shop down on 11th Street.
If 54, you moved to Waco in 53. Wasn't that the year of the big tornado?
Yeah, 53. Yeah, we were here at 53. In fact, we lived on 10th Street in 53.
You got here just in time to have a tornado blow
Yeah,
through.
I did. Yeah. I worked for Curtis Hall when it hit.
Did you have any damage to your house?
Oh yeah. No, not to our house, but it did the shop.
Yeah.
But anyway, I went to work there, and so Mr. Callan, Mr. W.W. Senior, which is the owner of the company, I don't know why he did this, but he called me in, and he said, "Do you intend to stay with the company?" And I said, "Yes, sir. I've been trying to go to work for Central a long time." And he said, "I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to go borrow $10,000 and I want you to buy stock with it." I said, "Mr. Callan, I don't even have a bank account here right now." I said, "I got a bank account, but I don't have anything in it." I said, I just moved here a year ago. And I said, I'm still not situated. He said, "Where you got your account?" And I said, "It's Community State." And I didn't know, but he owned a Community State bank. I didn't know that. He said, "You go down to Community State Bank and you tell them you want to borrow $10,000. And I said, "Okay." So I went down there and I saw the president. He said, "What do you got for collateral?" And I said, "Company stock." And he said, "That's no good because it's company owned, employee owned." He said, "It's not on the market." And I said, "Well, Mr. Callan told me to tell you to call him if I had any trouble." He said, so he said, "Well, wait just a minute." He went in, directly come back out, and he said, "How much did you want?" I said, "I want $10,000.
That's a lot of money in 1954.
A lot of money.
I mean, you could buy several
But
cars.
I bought the stock for $10.14 a share. Well, then I worked there in unit overhaul, and then finally Mr. Opley got bad health, and Mr. Jack Callan then, which is Mr. W.W.'s brother, he was running the shop, and he called me in and he said, "You think you can run our unit overhaul?" And I said, "Mr. Callan, I don't know whether I can or not. I probably have a lot of opposition because you got some older people back there that's been here a lot longer than I have." He said, "Yeah," but he said, "Do you think you can handle it?" And I said, "Well, I'll try it for 90 days I said, but after 90 days, if I don't make it, can I go back on the floor? And he said, yeah, you can. Anyway, I took the job as usual hall foreman. And I had opposition, man for a while. It was nip and tuck. I had a lot of problems. But anyway, the guys, I treated them all good. I mean, I never
You treated them with respect. Is what
I
you
treated
did.
them with respect. And so I was in unit overhaul for 28 years. And then I retired. And I retired out of the shop, and then I went to driving. I drove for another 6 years for them.
Right, I remember that.
But I bought stock for $10.14 a share. I bought stock for $16.25 a share. I bought stock for $23 a share, and twice it split 5-1.
Mm.
So guess what? I was pretty good shape.
That is wonderful.
But
Now, couple of questions. When did you start building planes out of the shop?
in 1971.
Okay, so that was all, you.
Well, I started
you were
building-
already a foreman and everything by that.
Yeah, but
running the shop.
I was building planes down here on the old road. When I lived down there on the old road, I was building airplanes there. I just kept on continuing out there. See, I didn't have a strip down here, but when I moved out there, I had my own strip.
What year did you go out there?
71.
Okay.
71. But I got to tell you, you can turn that off in a minute. I'll tell you a story.
Okay.